Hey everybody, Zack Brittain here with Phipps Brittain Real Estate, and today it is all about the sellers. If you are considering selling a property, or maybe you already have, maybe you're just curious about the selling process and want to learn how we approach it. If so, this video is for you. We're going to be talking about the 5 steps and processes that we bring our sellers through, discussing goals, setting your numbers, what strategy you should use, example, buying first or selling first, as well as how to prepare your home for market, and ultimately, what is the selling and marketing strategy that is going to position you and the property to sell for the most amount of money in the least amount of time. These topics and more in the rest of the video, so let's get into it. So the very first thing that we do with our sellers is start establishing goals. And the best way to do this is we hop on a quick phone call, we'll establish a time to meet with you and view the property that you'd like to sell. Now, everybody is different, and I know maybe the idea of goal setting seems, maybe not as exciting, but it's super important for us as agents and for you as a seller to really understand why you're selling the property. This will help establish what the next steps need to be, what's important or not so important, and what we need to focus on when we're working with you as a seller to guide you through the entire process. By thinking ahead a few steps and establishing what our end goal is in mind, we can really streamline the process and make sure you don't make any easy mistakes along the way. Now, when we initially meet with our sellers, we're going through the home, establishing key features, condition, all the important things about your property, and this will help us, prepare the home for market and discuss what the next steps are going to be. From there, we can establish a timeline. So you as a seller leave that initial meeting knowing exactly what your realistic goals are and what an expected timeline, depending on your property, your preference, and your goals, is going to be to prepare and actually sell the home. This gives you a lot more clarity as a seller on what needs to be done and realistically what you're going to be looking at in terms of how long it's going to take to actually get the property up on the market and sold. The second step is know your numbers. Now, if we've gone through the process of establishing your goals, we've probably already started the conversation of what your numbers are going to look like. In that initial consultation and meeting, we're probably going through a home evaluation. Side note, we do offer free home evaluations. They can be super useful and powerful for anybody considering selling in the next 6 to 12 months. And even if you're just wondering what you should be doing to your home to prepare it to sell, this can be an awesome exercise for you as a homeowner and as a seller. But if you're going through the process with us now, the second step again is the numbers, and we really need to understand what the property is going to sell for in the current market as is. If there's any reinvestment that we should be doing in the home to prepare it to show better or sell for more money, as well as what are your closing costs going to be, and potentially what you're going to use the money for. A lot of our sellers go on to either buy another primary residence or reinvest the money into another investment property. And if that's the plan, then we should be thinking a step ahead. At this point, if we've established what the value of the home is, what we're going to be spending to invest in the property to bring it to market and sell for the most it can, we can also start the conversation potentially with the mortgage broker if you're going to need financing for the next purchase, and that will go into our third step as well. Number 3, and this is the strategy. What is your strategy when selling the property? Are you straight up just selling it and not rolling it into another purchase or investment? Then it's just an easy decision. It's just when to sell it. But if you're also making a purchase, should we be looking at making that purchase before you sell or after you sell? So when we're discussing seller strategy, a lot of this comes down to if you're going to be buying first or selling first. Now, some of the pros to buying first as a seller is, 1, you get to shop lots, right? You're looking for the perfect home, and as well, while you're shopping, you can take the time to slowly prepare your property for market, right? So you're going out and viewing lots of homes, you're figuring out what types of deals you can get out there, how competitive the market is, how realistic it is for you to actually find your target property, all while you're preparing your current home to show as best as it can, right? Now, another pro to actually purchasing a property first would be you have set dates for when you're moving into your new home, right? This will also allow you to position your current property to sell and match up those closing dates as best as possible, or you can start to establish what type of bridge financing options you may have. This will help you prepare to make the transition as easy as possible. Now, if you choose to sell first, the pros to doing that are, first and foremost, you have control, a little bit more control over the terms when you sell your property, right? You don't have to sell it, and you also get a little bit more control potentially when you're negotiating the terms of the sale, right? The second pro is going to be you know exactly what your budget is to go and shop. So if you need a specific number to sell your property in order to make sure you purchase in the price range that you really want to purchase in, then selling your property first will establish exactly your numbers are going to be and give you a timeline in order to make that happen. Now, other considerations when you're deciding what strategy to go with, whether buying first, selling first, whatever it is going to be what type of market you're in. Are you buying and selling in the same type of market? Is it a buyer's market, a seller's market, a balanced market? These are important to know. Second is, how rare of a property are you looking for? Is it a super rare purchase, or are you selling a super rare property? Is it going to be fairly easy and straightforward to sell your home, fairly easy and straightforward to purchase your next home? Important things to consider. And furthermore, as a buyer, as a seller, really important to know what your constraints are. Are you on a specific budget? Are you more constricted by time? Maybe you're moving to a new city for a new job, starting school, whatever it might be. But these are all really key factors to consider when you're determining what strategy makes the most sense for you as a seller. The fourth step in the process of a seller is preparing your home for market. Now, I cannot stress how important the little things can be when preparing your home for market. At the end of the day, your job as a seller and our job when we're working with our clients is to help you prepare the home to show the best it can and to appeal to our target buyers. Because at the end of the day, the more target buyers that we can get to see the home showing well, the more likely it is that you're going to sell it and sell it for more money. So when we're going through with our initial consultation for a home evaluation or meeting our seller to discuss their goals, we have to view the property to better understand the condition, the layout, and the features. Now, once we understand that and we understand what your goals and your timeline and your strategy is going to be, it's a lot easier for us to advise on what to prioritize. And what we mean by that is, is it worthwhile investing in a significant renovation? Is that available in terms of your budget and your capacity and what you want to do? Will that help you get or exceed your goals? Or is it more about working with what we already have and utilizing staging and design consultations? Now, we work with a staging company and we have people in our network to help our clients prepare their property for market, whether it's small touch-ups or larger scale projects and everything in between. But understanding your goals and your situation will help establish and, like I said before, prioritize what items are going to help you net the most money on the sale of your home. The last thing you want to do is invest a bunch of time and money into parts of your property and have it not really turn around and help you net more on the sale. And that's where a lot of our consultation can come into place. And we highly stress on most circumstances to stage a property or at least go through a staging consult and do some minor adjustments to prepare your market to appeal to either a broader audience or a very specific type of buyer, depending on your property and situation. For example, when we sell our own investment properties or properties of our own, we stage them. And I highly recommend that to something that we look into. But again, that comes down to your property situation and what options we have on the table to help you net more on the sale of your home. Now, you may have heard some specific tips regarding staging or presenting your home and preparing it for market, but aside from just a simple thing of decluttering, a really important thing that cannot be overlooked is cleaning your home. Making sure your home is spotless and ready to show is going to be the simplest way to have it showing as best it can. And when I mean clean. I cannot tell you the difference that it makes even when I'm taking buyers through homes and when we're presenting homes as a listing agent with our sellers on how clean a property actually is. So do not underestimate how big of a difference that is. Other things you can do are making sure all your light bulbs are the same color and match and are updated, right? You can also make sure the home is aired out so it has a very normal neutral smell. You can also pressure wash or clean your decks and your walkways. Doing some light landscaping is actually a really effective way to improve the value of your property and how well the curb appeal is. Cutting your grass, trimming your beds, edging, redoing your mulch. Those are all really simple things that don't take a ton of effort or a ton of money and can dramatically improve how well your home presents to potential buyers. Investors, bonus tip. When you're preparing your home for market, you're also going to have to consider your tenants. Are there currently tenants in the property? How easy are they to get along with? How well do they keep the home? Does the property show well? Have they mentioned any items that need to be taken care of in the home that you should probably take care of and fix or repair prior to showing the property? Also, is there maybe an opportunity to have the property vacant? And should you list the property and sell it while it's vacant, or should you get new tenants in there? These are all items that are really important to consider before you even bring the home to market to make sure that the listing process and the whole home shows as best as it possibly can. Now, these are conversations you should be having, with yourselves, but also rely on your realtor. We have experience working with investors as well as tenanted properties to make sure that the selling process is as seamless as possible and to make sure that the property is positioned and shows as well as it can. Number 5, our listing and our marketing strategy. Now, since we've already established what your goals are as a seller, we've crunched your numbers, we know if we're gonna be buying or selling first, and you've prepared your home for market, it's showing as good as it can be, we're really ready to establish what the marketing and listing strategy is. And that comes down to 3 key factors. Number 1, how well your home shows. We've already prepared it for market, it's showing as best it can, guys. Number 2, we really want to understand what the pricing strategy is gonna be to position your home in the current market. Everybody's market's different. Pricing strategies are going to vary depending on property, your goals, and the type of market you're currently in. And finally, number 3 in the listing and marketing strategy is your actual marketing strategy to get qualified buyers in the door and bringing offers. What are the exact marketing strategies that we are going to implement for your listing to get the right type of buyers to view your home? The more qualified buyers that we can get to view your home, the more likely is that you're going to get offers or more offers and ultimately sell the home for the most money you can. So the first part of your marketing and listing strategy is how well your home shows. Since in the previous step with our sellers, we've already prepared the home for market as best we can, but we cannot stress enough that homes that show and present well dramatically improve how quickly and how much money you're going to sell your property for. We cannot stress that enough. So ask us about our free staging consultation, ask us about the services that we utilize and the tactics that we use for our sellers to position the home to show as best as possible. On top of that, making your home look good online is the best way to get qualified buyers to initially see your home and book showings on your property. So we work with the best media team in Waterloo Region to make sure all of our photos, virtual tour, video tours, and iGuides are all looking as best as they possibly can, and we're presenting them in a way that is easy for buyers to find and see the key features that are going to make your home present as best as possible. This way, they're seeing the best parts of your home, the best way they possibly can be presented, and they're more likely and encouraged to actually book a showing to view the home in person. Now, it's important to understand in a market that's a strong seller's market, which is actually what we're experiencing here in Waterloo Region for the last few years, is you want to utilize your listing price as a tool to generate as much interest and traffic for qualified buyers. It's not necessarily an indication of value, but should be viewed more as a tool to get qualified buyers to view your home, right? Things to consider with your pricing strategy could be, how rare is your property? What is the market like for your current home? Are there other comparable listings at comparable locations, condition, and price points as your listing? How have they sold in the last 30, 60 days? How many buyers are actually looking for your type of property so you can understand what type of traffic to expect? As well, you want to better understand, key factors like what's your typical days on market? Other variables like what's the common list to sale price ratio for this type of property? So you can all get a little bit more context and perspective on one, what buyers are expecting, and two, ultimately how you should be positioning your home to sell for the most money in the least amount of time. Now, the third factor is our listing and our marketing strategy. And this is the specific tactics and strategies that we're going to use in order to attract the right types of buyers to view your home and ultimately bring an offer. Now, in case you didn't know, over 90% of buyers first see the property they end up purchasing online. Think about that. 90% of buyers first see the property they end up purchasing online. So the reality is the internet has revolutionized how buyers and sellers are purchasing and selling properties. And if 90% of people are first seeing it online, it is super important to make sure that you have a really, really good marketing strategy utilizing online tools. And we have really invested quite heavily in understanding the systems and the tools that are going to promote and get our listings for our sellers in front of the right buyers at the right time. So we've gone through, we've figured out what our target buyer is for your property, their profile, where they hang out online, where they're going to actually look at listings online. And we're going to focus quite heavily on attracting and marketing our listings to those buyers in those places. Now, before we get into the online stuff, look, we still do the traditional marketing methods. We got a great for sale sign, we have print advertising, we're putting it up on the MLS. And to take it a step further, we actually put all of our listings up on the Toronto Real Estate Board as well. For those of you that don't know, Waterloo Region is about an hour and a half away from most areas in the GTA. A lot of buyer traffic and investors are coming down to our market. So it's really important for us to get exposure on what is by far the largest real estate board, the Toronto Real Estate Board in Canada. And it just makes sense. Great exposure, qualified buyers, lots of potential buyers and investors. We want our listings there. So all of them go up on TRED. But to take it a step further, we also subscribe to what's called the DDF feed. This makes our listings available to any website that hosts listings online in Canada. So realtor.ca, all your big websites, all the brokerage websites, our own, and any real estate agent that's hosting listings on their personal website, your listing will be there. Furthermore, we also invest in database marketing, qualified and motivated buyers in our database that we market to whenever we have a new listing that fits their profile. And take it a step further, the other channels we utilize are your Facebook, Instagram, and Google, as well as some other social media and online marketing platforms. But those are the three key ones where we're able to market directly to the type of buyer that's likely going to be purchasing your home. The reason that's so important is if we get your listing in front of those types of people and more of them, we increase your chances of those buyers viewing your home, and ultimately the more viewings of qualified buyers would lead to more offers or higher offers. So we are going to be very specific with the type of buyer. We're going to focus on where they're hanging out, where they're viewing listings, so we can get your listing in front of them at the right time, increasing your chances on selling your home for the most money in less time. If you are considering selling your property, or you want to get more familiar with the selling process in consideration for making plans maybe even a year or two out, then get in touch with us. We can do a free home evaluation, tab on our website, and link in description below. Furthermore, we really encourage you to plan ahead as a seller. This will only give you more time and information to prepare your property and yourself to make the right move.